Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening. I believe we all are doing very great today. Okay, I'm trying to see if our lights can be steady. Okay. All right. This is a very happy Tuesday evening, Tuesday night. It's another section of our Mind Shift section with Benedict Obiajulu. If you're joining us, if you're already here, please can you write in the comment box so that I will know that you're here? Write in the comment box your name and your location where you're joining us from. All right, while we do that, I would want to know how your day went. Today in the city of Asaba, we had a very heavy downpour, which we see as a blessing. We see as a blessing. Okay, I'm yet to see a comment in the comment section. I'm yet to see a comment. I want someone to write to us and tell us where you are joining us from. If you're here already, just write in the comment section. Okay, I'm seeing Do Be Surprised from Bauchi. Progress. Okay. Yeah, Progress is chatting from Asaba. Wow, beautiful. Beautiful. How was your day today, Progress? Can you tell me? Did you see this heavy rain today? Okay. I want to see your comments. Okay, Christian Ufondo from Asaba. Oh, okay. Progress. Buikem said yes, ma. And I can see Latera HR from Asaba. All right, people in the city of Asaba, I really appreciate you. Adobe, all the way from Bauchi, I appreciate you. Thank you for being part of what we are doing at Latera. At Latera, we are building a community of wealthy people, and I'm so glad that you're part of us. Last week, we had a very amazing section with Ambassador Christian Ofondo, and he break down a whole lot of, you know, according to the breakdown, he have ABCD of winning approach for the first quarter of the second half of the year. And in that ABCD, he broke down a lot of things that has to do with our growth. He said number one is assets, which is skills, resources, knowledge. All right. And then he also talked about building partnership. He talked about creating opportunity, which is the C. He talked about creativity and sustainabilities. He also talked about delivering results, which is the D. All right. So I'm seeing Onyebuchi from Onitsha and Chizoba Golden. Good evening to you too. Please tell us where you're joining us from, Chizoba Golden. And okay, today is a very beautiful day. Our Ebo MD is already up on sit. Sir, you're very much welcome. We are glad to have you today, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. How we doing today? Hope we're enjoying the weather.
Yes, so we did.
Okay. Where we stopped off from last week, your network seems to be wonderful. Or except it's my network, I can hardly. You're breaking intermittently. Please, if you can hear me, kindly chat on drop a comment that you can hear me. So welcome everyone. and it's a beautiful day. Please, if you can hear me, I would like to receive our comments, please. If you can hear me, we are dealing with the psychology of closing. We know about the psychology of selling, right? But today we're going to deal with the psychology of closing. So if you can hear me, type in psychology of closing, either psychology or closing, the one that is closest to you. Type it in the chat box. So I'm sure that I'm audible enough, since it looks like the network is is playing a fast one, so I can know the quality of network that I have here. Okay. So please, I would like to have your comment because I can't see who and who are here. And then remember to share the link. Share it to as much persons as you can, because freedom comes through knowledge, right? Freedom comes through knowledge. So please remember to share the link. Share it so that more persons can be on this chat and can be on this meeting today. Remember I said I'm it seems like I'm not audible enough, or you're not hearing me. Okay, good. Okay, good. I think I can see us now. Okay, correct. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Let's move. Psychology of closing. Yeah. Okay, beautiful. I've gotten the feedback that I need. So today we're going to look at psychology of closing. We had a wonderful time last week, and Chris did amazing well. And the beauty of what we learn is that we can use it to create a good life. So always remember that. So when we learn, you go put it to action, because the difference between the man that can read and the man that cannot read is, and that the man can, there is no difference between the man that knows and does not do and the man that does not know and does not do. So if you know the way to the city, I think when it's time to go to the city, you should go to the city. You shouldn't keep wallowing and be asking, where is the way that leads to the city? Okay? So, in that sense, the beauty of what we are learning is that we can use it to produce a good life. So, we are dealing with the psychology of closing. The psychology of closing. How to win the customer's mind before they sell. Then let me tell you, at every point in time, there is a war going on to catch the mind of a client, to get to be in the top mind, to be top mind in the mind of the client, right? So that's why you see Coca-Cola that's still doing advert, right? They are still doing advert. They will go and they're still doing advert despite how many years they have existed, despite the kind of market share they control in the beverage market. They're still running adverts, right? They're still asking what test blends with the Nigerian market and what test blends with the Indian market, what test blends with the um the Asian market, right? So they keep doing that, right? Indomie is undisputed leader in the instant noodles business, right? Indomie is a company that is owned by a Chinese family, as funny as it is, right? And they came from Indonesia, and, from a company called Indo Food, right? And when they came, you know one thing, because closing is the same across borders. When they came, and they should be approaching 40 years, right? When they came 30, maybe 37 years ago, thereabout. I can't remember the exact year they came to Nigeria. And they were targeting, our population was just 90 million. And they were targeting how do they become a success, replicate what they have done somewhere else here. And the people, they had a lot of challenges trying to close the market and gain substance and let people accept it. But you know one thing across that story, which I want to bring, they brought out the test. Now, the test of a normal Nigerian and the test of someone from where they are coming from in Indonesia is not the same. Your food preference and what you enjoy are not the same. And that is how they kept modifying it over the years and through research. And you know how they did activations, most of us here, and maybe some here may not know um, when they were doing their school activations, doing their market activations, so that they could get buy-in. Now, why that is important is that in closing, it takes a lot of things to be in the top mind and the client in the client. So whenever the customer is thinking of a particular, when I say instant noodles, you think of some of some companies like Indomie. When we say diapers, you think of some companies like Pampers, right? When we say cement, you think of some companies. When we say petrol stations, there are some companies that come to your head based on where you stay and how those people have been able to take over there. So it should be that when people think of land, you should become in their top mind. You should be the person, oh, this is my go-to person. Does that make sense? About does this make a little sense, right? Mm, yeah. Does this make does this make a little sense, right? I hope this makes a little sense on how this what we're trying to uncover today is called the psychology of closing. So when somebody needs something that pertains to what you will sell, how do you become top mind in that industry? It takes work to get to top mind, but it also comes with process because we know that life is input, output. Okay. So with that said, let's proceed. So now there are five main concepts that we're going to look at psychology of closing. We call it one, the power of framing. So I want you to write as much as possible so that because in interaction it becomes a discussion, right? In interaction we is a higher level of learning than listening. So we have the power of pre-framing, we have mental triggers, we have the magic of right questions, we have handling objections. Top objections. There are top objections in every industry. When you're selling things that are of high ticket, right? People will tell you, I would think about it. So how do we handle that question? I would think about it. I will get back to you, right? The same, similar. So then, so the four of them is what we're going to look at. These four. So when we start with power of pre-framing, what is pre-framing and what is it all about? It says, how do you set pre-frame to pre-frame someone? To pre-frame, to pre-frame. Just like when you wear a suit and you come to a place where people are, you come to a mechanic workshop, right? And suddenly you are walking with your well neatly done suit and you're walking, right? You're taking a walk, and there are a lot of people there. You know what will normally happen? If you're well dressed, your confidence is strong, you're well groomed, mostly they tend to clear the way for you now because you've been you have reframed yourself in such a way that you tend to be accepted. The same way somebody shows up in a police station with suit and his friend is behind the counter, he may not be a lawyer, but they can just see and they just assume that he's a lawyer. That's what is power of pre-framing. Okay, so here what we are looking at, how do you set the tone before pitching the land? So how do you set the tone before the sale? How do you set the tone before pitching for the land? How do you, yes, power of pre-framing, correct. How do you set the tone before pitching the land? How? Oh, we know courtyard is coming. We know. So how do you set the tone that you are the right person to be dealt with when someone is looking for it? And how are you setting the tone that what you're selling is what they need? Because you must set the tone before pitching the land. If you don't set the tone, the message will be watered down. So mostly you set the tone by things like, okay, you can just say, let me show you how smart Nigerians are quietly buying land in this area, even before the government finishes express roads. Now, there will always be core drivers of economy. There would always be core drivers of development. And you and I and the buyer and everybody knows that when government moves into a place, when there are proposed government projects, that land prices would go up, land values would go up, people would tend to live closer to that places, right? So when they know that, how are you now setting the tone that you are the one to show? You are not saying this shows. You are saying, let me show you. Let me show you how smart Nigerians are quietly buying land in places or in that particular area before the government even finishes the express road, or even before the government approves the layout or approves the road design. So if you've been someone that have been talking about that on your Facebook handles, you've been someone that have been raising such type of discussions, you stand a chance to set the tone, because you're trying to show people. And why this is important is this. Now, you may not have the so in contrast, not all of us will have the direct. You may not, based on your position per time, you may not know where are government working on per time. You may not know, or where are the roads that will be done. But let me use as this estate that we have for an example, so you get it. Now, when we started, before they approved the Prime View Road, that we are telling people this road will be worked on, we were selling there for, I think we sold for 4.5 million, right? Then we know that the road has been approved, but there was no one payloader, there was no one bulldozer, there was no one anything that shows that this road will ever be done, right? And then we'll tell people in 2 years, you will come here and you will see a sweet road. And the people that bought at 4.5 bought, maybe they believe the tone, because we were telling them, let's show you that how people, and we're telling them, but a lot of people are buying here. You're trying to set the tone. A lot of people are buying here based on this. Based on this, you're setting the tone. Based on that development is coming here. Based on that there's a road there. Then, where my example comes in is in the second one. What happens next? We start constructing the road. Then people are saying, "Oh, this is Nigeria. This road will take 1,000 years to construct." Right? People were saying, "This road will take 1,000 years to construct." Beautiful. And then we remind them again. Key government officials, power people that know, that are in the helm of affairs, are doing what? Smart Nigerians like you are what? Are buying this area before the government finishes this project. So meaning that people that have committed interest in this project are also buying up portions here, are owning positions here. before the government finishes the express road. And I could remember as at that time when the road started, I think we were selling at 6.5 when they started the road. Now, why I'm trying to draw this example so we get it. But the core of toning is that people understand that you are bringing them somewhere that something is coming. Does this make sense? You're bringing them somewhere that something is coming. So invariably, you are setting the tone that if you get in now, you're getting in at advantageous you're getting in at an advantageous position. You get in at pre-launch, you are getting in at advantageous position. That is the point I want to create there. That is, you're setting the tone. That this is what smart Nigerians are doing. They are quietly, they are not making noise. This is more like a backyard deal. This is more like insider information trading, just like in stock. There's something we call the inside information. People don't know yet to, but this is what is happening here, or this is what is going to happen. Come quietly, take position. That is one way to set the tone. Do you understand? So anytime you hear, oh, we didn't hear any time that this land was selling, and somehow this company have just declared they have sold out 10,000 plots. Yeah, there was a good um, pre-framing around the investments that were coming there. Now, so if that is well understood, I want to move on. But once we keep going, you'll be able to get what I'm saying. So remember, we said the power of pre-framing, which I've tried to demystify. Then we have triggers, three mental triggers. So invariably, there are mental triggers uh, that we use in closing, all right? And one of the triggers is there are three of them, and one of them is scarcity. The second one is authority, and the third one is social proof. If you forget everything I've said this night, don't forget the mental triggers. That there are three mental triggers for you to remember. What is closing? I forgot to talk about what is closing. For some of us, closing is the act of selling, is the marketing, is the act of making noise about the product, right? You're trying to show people where marketing is visibility and availability of the product. You are showing people this is the product. The product is available. It's evenly is closed. Oh, you are in abroad, you can buy. We can send you a form and you can fill. And when your deed is ready, we'll send you the soft copy. You will sign and you will send back and we do all that, right? And you get your document and they will build back to you. That's availability. You can be where you are and you can see the product thing. That's marketing. Then after that, then we move to sell. So all these things are available. Is marketing is availability and visibility of a product. Is available and is visible. Then we move to the next, which is sales. What is sales? Sales is the act of getting to a change value, right? You're trying to let the person know you're going to I'm willing to are you willing, let this help you. My product can help you. So you're trying to show the client how this product will help him. That is sales, right? You're showing him that if you buy this land today, it can send your children to Harvard tomorrow. If you buy this land today, right, it can solve your food crisis. You can build houses on it, and through it you can use to feed yourself for the rest of your life. When people are saying food is expensive, you have enough houses that when food cost of food increases, you increase your rent and you cover up, right? That is sales, right? Showing the client how what where your offering can meet him at his point of need. Then we now have closing. What is closing? Closing is the act of the exchange where the transaction is is sealed, right? Where the value exchange After the explanation and showing him how you can help him, you sign the contract, you seal the deal, he makes his payment. That's closing. He makes his payment and the transaction is done. The goods are delivered. That's closing. Right? So we're talking about the psychology that gets after the explanation. Sometimes we get stuck at explanation. The client becomes hesitant to make a decision. He starts thinking about his mother, he starts thinking about his father, he starts thinking about his wife, he starts thinking about anybody he can think about. So he starts telling him, I want to discuss with this person, I want to discuss with my uncle, I want to discuss that. So how do you move him past that bridge? There's a water, right? There's a little water between marketing and sales, right? You get it? And there's also another little water between sales and closing. So if you want to understand how to move from marketing to selling and to closing, that is why some people have high conversion ratio and people have low conversion ratio. To increase your conversion ratio in terms of selling, you must be able to understand the four psychology of closing. You get it. So now we have the three mental triggers that sales land. We talked about scarcity, we talked about authority, and we talked about social approval. And what is scarcity? Scarcity is understanding that people would always fall to FOMO. We have two fears, right? I call it the fear of discipline, and sorry, we have two pains: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret, right? And people don't want to regret. So people don't want to regret because they know. Most times we want to eliminate a lot of regrets in our lives, right? So you're maybe most people on this call might be less than 50, right? And maybe you didn't see Banana Island sell at 7 million, right? But I know one thing you want to regret. One thing you will regret is that if you saw a city selling for 5 million and in your lifetime that city is selling for 10 billion, and you could afford the 7 million as that time, or you could afford the 5 million at that time, and you didn't buy it, and 10 years, 20 years in your life that city is selling for 50 billion, you're going to regret it. Or do I have people in this call that will not will yes, marketing leads to sales and sales leads to closing? Yes, that's very correct. So you would regret that. So people would always want to minimize their regret. So whenever you tell them scarcity, remember you are same as the buyer. Yes, you are same as the buyer. You are same as the buyer. You're same as the buyer. So your job is to listen to what the buyer is saying. You're same as the client. So now, so scarcity is also called FOMO. I think I've explained it. So meaning fear of missing out. But because of people don't want to minimize regrets, they take the last bus out of the station. They may not take the first bus, but the last bus, they will take it. So they have been thinking, thinking, and you tell them, oh, 3 plots to go. And the person just says, oh, 3 plots to go. And they say they're building a mega city here. And they say this road is coming. And more likely than not, it's 2 days for price increase. It's 3 days for close of sale. And the person buys because people want to minimize regret. So scarcity. So invariably, you can easily say 7 plots left at this price. And suddenly, the person that has been cracking, I remember it has worked severally. It's one selling techniques that would always work. It will work because, one of the deadliest fears after the fear of sickness and fear of poverty is one of missing out. Either missing out a loved one or missing out on something that you think will change your life. So it's gonna work. I remember a client that said, "Oh, I don't have the money," and I told the client, "Okay, we're closing the sale today. but it would be do you good to send them some money today. And the property was to be sold, was selling at 3.5 million. And the client sent, I think, 2 million that day. And that was what he was waiting for, tomorrow and tomorrow. So when a client is resistant, you have sold the client. You have explained how the product is going to help the client, and you are sure that this product is good for the client. You must be sure through the client's conversation with you that you are sure that this product meets the need of the client. Then you can bring out the triggers to close it. And one of them is scarcity. So you can 7 plots to go, 3 plots to go. It can also be end of pre-launch. So when you are playing at prelude, they are doing countdown. There's a countdown. Estate is doing countdown to price review, and you're playing with the countdown. You're not sending it broadcast. You're not using that period to talk to, letting them know that you're about to miss on a lifetime opportunity. This will never be this price. Land prices would always keep going up. Don't miss out on this. Then you are shooting yourself in the leg. It's clear cut, right? Yeah, because um more than 20% of your sales may come, more than 20% will come from this scarcity mental trigger. Hmm? It will come with it. It will come with it. You get it now. So secondly is authority. Now when people hear, oh, the estate has a CFO, their head will be, wow, it's a symbol of government authority. They hear things like, don't always be waiting for CFOs, right? They hear things like, estate layout is government approved. The estate layout is government approved. The state plan is it conforms to state planning. Is state government approved. Look at the paper. You show the person in the NITP registration line. Why? They are looking for what authority is backing it. The person might be feeling, oh, yeah, I'm not really interested, and you tell him it has a CFO. This is someone that says, oh, before you even tell him, okay, you can tell him, oh, there's an N. You don't need to say NIITP. No, he doesn't need it. But you can easily tell the person, oh, the estate layout is government approved. It conforms with the state government estate planning approval, with the estate planning approval. Because people are looking for which authority is backing it. That is why you see products, they will say, oh, it's NAFDAC. It is this, it is this, it is this. Then thirdly is what we call social proof. Who and who are buying? Oh, 5 people from the Ministry of Lands just bought this land last week. You see, 5 people from 5 government civil servants, 5 directors just bought into this estate. That is why you see places whereby an actor will buy in an estate and they will publish it. The actor no pay because it's the social proof. A professor of so and so just bought into our estate, and maybe the man is a trader and he just had a professor bought into the estate, and he's like, oh, he may ask himself, this professor must have read all the books and would have done all the findings he needs to do. Let's proceed. When he has civil servant, 5 top civil servants bought into the estate. Oh, this actor bought into the estate. Your neighbor could be, it could be his favorite actor. It could be his favorite skit maker. Because skit makers are now influencers. Does this make sense? They want social proof. Because people buy what people are buying. Oh, this your friend just bought one estate. just bought one plot in this our estate. Oh, this your line chairman. It could be in a market setting, right? So let me come down. It could be in a market setting. Oh, maybe it's a plumber line. You go, oh, this man in this plumber in this plumber, your chairman at let's say is a market that are selling, the chairman of the market or one prominent person. But it can also be something that will, maybe it's a young boy on the road that is looking for to make his first land purchase, and he knows that one man that has been making good money in land bought into there. It's his first land. And he knows this man has been buying land for 20 years and made so much money from land. He will just say, oh, thank God. Now this man, he don't buy here, I go buy. Do you get the point? Social proof. Social proof. And in Nigeria, social proof works so much. Why you will know that social proof works? That when you travel mostly, Nigerians drive very big cars. We don't like any car that is smallish. The cars that normally sell in Nigeria, big, big. It must be big so that when he pass, everybody will see it. I don't know, but I think when you travel to most countries, there's something I've observed. There's this car that I saw, and I was thinking, oh, this car would do very well in Nigeria because I think the price is down and the body is small. But the truth is that the body is so small. So I think just like we used our mouth to kill pure water, I've even called it pure water. What's the name? Golf, right? We now called it pure water, and the car just fizzled out. Nobody wants to be seen driving something that looks like pure water. You get it? And so, meaning that social proof is a powerful thing. People may not eat, but they will do child dedication. They may not eat, they will do flamboyant wedding, right? And that is it. They want social proof. That is why, but we get what I'm saying, right? So social proof is also a powerful silent way to generate more than 20% in sales. So know how to draw it. Once you see the line, hold it and keep drawing it and draw in as much as you can with it. Okay? So with that, we get into the magic of the right questions. The magic of the right questions. The magic of the right question. What does this refer to? This refers to closing is about asking question. Yes, closing is about asking question. It's more of asking question than deflecting objections. Right. Right. It's more of asking questions in closing because your job by itself, closing, people buy based on emotions, and to trigger emotions you need to ask the right questions. I want to repeat it. People buy based on emotions. To trigger emotions you need to ask the right questions. You get it? So invariably, if you ask the right questions, people will listen. Not just that they will listen, but they will travel in line with the questions you've asked. Okay? So, with that said, you can ask questions like if you had owned land 5 years ago in, let's say, and where do we use that? Let's say, where do we use 5 years ago that was not fully developed, that was as scanty as some places? Okay, let's just use them. Maybe we can even use areas like um, one of our estate locations, or let me, okay, for the context of the broader context of we have a wide range of listeners. Let me use which part of the city do I use? Let me use up. Should I use up Anam Road? No. Okay. Let's say I don't want to use Lagos. Most of us are accustomed to Lagos, but yet it's places that have not fully. Where do Okay, where do I use? Where do I use? Okay, let me use. Songotedo. No, Songotedo development kicked in 2012. No. So let me use okay, let me use somewhere that might be closer to everybody in the call. Is somebody suggesting? Okay, let's suggest. Okay, people suggest. Let me be sure we're flowing. Now you're trying to tell the client that if you had owned land 5 years ago in this place, how much would it be worth today? Now, because where there are new developments, where the city is moving, because at every point in time the city is advancing. Any place that is 13 minutes 1 hour away from the city center. So for instance, if you stay in ShopRite in Asaba, for instance, and in Taboa, which happens to look like the city center for today, and you stay there and you travel 1 hour from there to 1 hour from there. I don't know where it will get you, but let's say you travel 35 minutes from there. You will be in Obasanachi, right? You'll be in Obasanachi 35 minutes from there. Meaning that even if you travel some minutes in 1 hour, that is telling us in 5 to 10 years, that will be the city center. It will be the city center. That's what it's telling us, right? So invariably, if somebody has owned land somewhere close to, okay, let me just use Coca, around Coca, 5 years ago, just behind immigration, within that axis. 5 years ago, it was messy, it was a bush everywhere, no place was looking good. How much would the person be willing to give it up for today? Now, why that question is important is you ask questions that will trigger the person's mind to know that the people that own a particular position today did not take that position today. They took it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and now this is what it's worth. So, meaning that you could also ask somebody and remember now, depending on the bracket of the person you're working with. Now, based on if you have taken a good journey from selling and done good interaction, you'll be able to know, is this person a short-term thinker or is this person a long-term thinker? Short-term, long-term thinkers, if you say 10 years, they don't know that their life will go on with or without any investment they make, and 10 years will come and go. You get it? And whether you make investment, 10 years would even approach and go. It's the beauty, right? So either you do anything or you develop yourself or you invest, 2030 will come. It's sacrosanct. But what you do with 2025 will either determine if there is a seed that is sown that will bear fruit, or you will come to 2030 and you want to be a taker. And I would always say that takers are criminals because you must give to take. So invariably, that will determine if you are telling the person, oh, if you had bought here 10 years ago, how much do you think it will be worth today? In a place that I stay, people bought here 7 years ago, and it was all messy, it was all bushes, and today is a prime location, right? So those are the questions you are directing at the person. So if it's somewhere like Asaba, you can say, oh, look at what's the name of this place? Federal Housing Estate, currently called Malaysia Estate. Just imagine that you owned here 8 years ago. Just imagine that you are among those that bought this land 8 years ago. How much will you think it will be worth today? And after the person answers that question, the next question is to leave a mental tree. Is for you to leave the person in to harmonize the person's thoughts. So you must come in with the second question. And what is the second question? What if you could catch the next wave today? And funny enough, there have always been men that caught So, in reference to this class, I want us to go and read up. We always know this man called, he's still alive, Sir Razak Okoya. He caught on almost all the real estate waves in Lagos from Ikeja. What I mean, we know Sarazak Okoya, Eleganza, the one that owns Eleganza Biro, the Eleganza Industries, the buckets. He's an industrialist, right? But outside being an industrialist, the man is really a real estate mogul. That is why you see Eleganza Estate all around Lagos. His main business is real estate. He just fronts the manufacturing arm, but he caught on the main wave, just like there's always wave. There was Opanam wave, now there's Ibuza wave, right? And Ibuza wave have gone. There's Isela Saba wave, right? Now there's always wave. There's real estate wave in Onitsha. We had Oka Road very long time ago. They moved to where did they move to? They moved to 33, right? Then from 33, they have moved to Oba, right? In Lagos, it has moved from, where has it moved from in Lagos? In Lagos, it moved from mainland, after mainland, Ikeja, and all those places. And then he moved to Lekki Phase 1, from Lekki Phase 1 to Songotedo, from Songotedo to Ibeju, from Ibeju to Ebe, Abi. So it just keeps moving. Now, how do people catch on those waves? So you can read the Eleganza story and you see how he was moving his factory from one place to the other. Now, those are the people that did things in big, big scale that people could be able to point and they were able to share. But you also know there are a lot of silent people that caught up on all this wave we talked about, caught up in Asaba wave. They did in NBC role, they invested, they sold off in NBC, entered Opanam Road, sold off, went to Coca Road when it was starting up, and moved to Izela Azaba. Now, there are those waves, right? And even before the Buzo Bypass Link Road came, they were those waves. And you know the waves will continue. So how do you now get the trigger is letting the person know about what is real estate wave, and letting the person know that he can catch on the next wave. I don't know if this concept makes sense. Okay, now, so that's the magic of the right question. What if you could catch on the next wave? What if you could catch on the next wave today? Then the next point I want to talk about is, we've talked about the power of pre-framing, setting the tone before pitching the land. Let me show you how smart Nigerians are quietly buying lands that are in areas before the government even finishes what? The express road, or even before the roads are what? Are approved, or even before the proposed government projects comes in. Remember, there's a man that is very good with this, and that's Dangote. Let's all remember that before Dangote, but you know, he has a lot of what do we call it, resources at his disposal in terms of contacts and his people. Before um, the free trade zone was declared in that zone, it was just proposed. Everybody knew anyway. Before even he went to buy his first plot of land, it was proposed for free trade zone in Ibejuleki before he went to buy his first plot in 2012 there, where we have the current refinery. It was just proposed. It was just mouth. Government talk, say, then go do. Just as they talk, say, just as they have talked that they will complete the second Niger bridge, they have started. They have done the first flank, right? It was proposed. So we've always seen people quietly, smart Nigerians quietly buying up land in areas even before government announces starts, or that is toning. You let them know that thing. So you set the tone before you pitch the land. You set the tone of abundance. You set the tone of profit. You set the tone of progress, because that is what you sell. You're not selling land. Nobody wants to buy land. People buy progress. People buy to fund their dream. Nobody will eat land. to, but we eat what will come out from it, right? So then you can engage the mental triggers that I've talked about, the mental trigger of scarcity, the mental trigger of authority, estate layout approval, C of O. You can social proof who and who have bought, who and who is buying, who and who, and within the linkage of the estate, what kind of people are the neighbors. That is it, right? Then magic of right questions, how they can catch on the next wave. If they had caught on this former wave, how much would they have made? Let them answer, and then tell them, do you want to catch on the next wave? Do you? Handling how I would think, okay, most people will tell you, how do you handle, how I would think about it. I will think about it. If a client has ever told you, I will think about it. Please, I want you to write in the comment section. Welcome, Rosie. Welcome, Okafor Luchuku. Welcome, Paul. And it's beautiful having everyone here. We have a full comment section. I may not be able to go through all of them. People buy based on emotion. You can trigger that by asking the right questions. Yes, that's correct, Paul. And the magic. So, handling, how will I think about it? If anybody here tried to sell a property to a client and the client is telling you, I will think about it, I will speak to my wife, I will just trying to tell you, you will get back. Has anybody ever witnessed that? It's important that we look at things in a way that selling is an act, closing is also an act. Why I say is an act and not an exact science is because science, 1 plus 1 would always be 2, nothing will change. But act, 1 plus 1 may not be 2. There are no definite numbers, right? But in closing, there are more despite it being an art, there are set of ways to get, there are set of routes to get the result. I think that's what there are set of routes that can lead to the result. Does this make sense? So there are set of routes that will this road, this road, this road. And so when most clients would always tell you, I would think about it. Now, some people are thinking about it because they are raising the money. That's true. It may take them 6 months to raise. They want it. You're selling prosperity. Everybody wants a piece of progress. Of course. So most times when people ask you, tell you they will think about it, some are telling you to charge you. Some are just incapacitated. They don't make decision quickly. They don't. So there is some element of fear. Maybe you have not also cleared their questions. They still have some fears that needs to be unraveled. There are still some bottlenecks that need to be dismantled. So now, most times, you should be able to come up with a question. Not just I would think about it to say, okay, sir, yeah, you let the client go. No, it's not so. When persons say, of course, you can just. I have one thing I came up with, and that is when clients, a prospective client says, I will think about it. Can you tell the client, of course, it will be wise to think? Yes, he has to think, but as I'm talking to you, you're already thinking. So we know that he can think about it in 1 minute and give you the answer there. Of course, it will be wise to think. Just before you go, let me ask, what will you need to see or hear to feel 100% comfortable moving forward today? I want to repeat the question. Of course, it will be wise to think, but just before you go, let me ask, what will you need to see or hear to feel 100% comfortable before moving forward today? So what would, because it may be that the person needs one or two clarification. It may also be that the person is immobile. You have given the person so much information that the person is is still struck. He's just struck that, oh, is this really possible? Can I create an abundance from this? Can I create a better life from this? Can I avoid being a generational shame? He may just be still struck. So he's still and he's struck there with the information, right? So how do you move forward? Is there a way that you can ask him? You need to be able to ask questions to move the person from that position to the close point. What will you need to see or hear to feel 100% comfortable moving forward today? Now, so you can now is the template. The wordings are not stamped on the wall, but the wordings can help you reframe it to suit the client situation. Remember, I said closing is an act, so there are root paths to get to the desired result, right? So does this make sense, right? So invariably, I think I've been in a place where someone asked me, I was trying to think about the transaction. You know what the person asked me? What I can't remember, but I think the person asked me something very close to it. They asked me, okay, what will stop you from paying today? And you know what? I said no, but I didn't want to buy. And when he said, okay, that's beautiful. Okay, give me your first name as it appears as you would like it on the receipt. That was when I knew they are already writing the statement. Because if I had said yes, it means maybe I don't have the money or somehow I bought the stuff, but you get the point, right? Two, with that said, our time is fast spent. I want us to go back and we've talked about four main ways to get into the psychology of closing. And I want you to study the psychology of closing within the next 1 week, right? And that said, on Friday, we'll have a very wonderful section or physical section will be in the office opposite the government house and in Asaba. And we're going to be teaching a concept that relates to this that's going to help us understand having a lot of prospects and you're not closing them. It's not just selling is a numbers game, but you remember it's also a skill game. Someone can have 10 clients and close five, and somebody can have 10 and close one. The difference, the 10 are qualified, these 10 are also qualified. The difference is in closability of the person. So your ability to sharpen your saw, because I believe that if you're given 1 hour to cut down a tree, you should spend 80% of the time sharpening the saw. Spend 80% sharpening the saw and you will achieve the result you seek. So between now and Friday or between now and the next Tuesday, I want you to try to close the sale using one of these methods. Is that pre-framing? No, you can't use, you use pre-framing to set the tone, but try to use not one of the three mental triads to do what? To close a sale, either social proof, scarcity, authority. These three must help you close the sale because magic of right question will come under the mental triggers, right? And handling objections. I'll think about it as an objection. I will get back to my wife is an obsession. Is an objection. I will think about it. I will room over it. Is an objection. Right. So how are you going to use the three mental work on talking to a client and closing a client using the three mental triggers within the next 1 week. The beauty of it is that you try it the first time, you may flop. You try the second one, you may flop, but practice would only bring improvement. It may not make you perfect, but it will lead to improvement because I believe that we can always get better. So, with that said, Israel, welcome. Okay, I welcome all of us, and since my messages drop quite late, I'm seeing Madam Vivian saying she have always been told I'll think about it severally. will update you, always hearing that from clients. Okay, welcome everyone. And I believe we've been able to learn a lot of things from that section. Please remember, the beauty of knowledge is that you can use it to create a better life, but you cannot create a better life with it if you don't use it. And what you don't use, you will lose, right? If you don't use it, you will lose it. Example, you can keep this in your hand one place, tie it to your body. After 1 month, untie the rope. You will notice it will not be useful. So what you don't use, you will lose. So use this and let's have your testimonies of victory by next week. So cheers to everyone, and it's been beautiful having us here. And let's enjoy ourselves.
Wow.
Have a beautiful week. Thank you.
Wow, that was a very powerful section, sir. Thank you so much. We're always honored to have you dish out these things from your wealth of knowledge. We really appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. And I believe everyone on this call have a lot. In fact, there are so many, a lot that we are going to be working with for the rest of the week. um Please and please again, just like he mentioned, he said use any of these strategies to close a sale within the week. So I would want to be asking you by next week, how many sales have you closed using these strategies? All right, so that's a very powerful one. Meanwhile, I want to celebrate all of us for staying put till this time. Please, if you're here, kindly like this video and share it. Make sure that everybody among your team watch this later. All right, please let's click on the like button. Let's increase the like of this video. It is going to help YouTube to spread the news, to spread our live section to other people. Let's increase it. I'm seeing just 8 likes. Please let's increase it. And if you're here, you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. It doesn't really take us anything. Just click on the subscribe button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, I'm seeing just okay, nine likes. We are more than 21 here. Please let's increase this to 20. If you've not liked the video, please click on the thumbs up. I know you can see it. Click on the thumbs up. Let's increase the like of this video. All right. And this me saying to everyone that is going to come across this video later on, I want to welcome you to our family. This is Latera, and we are building a community of wealthy people. Please come around next week Tuesday, as we have another amazing section with our MD, Benedict Obiajulu. Thank you so much, and do have a good night rest, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the night. Bye.